know, black people at that time wasn't allowed basically to go anywhere.
Boxing is traditionally, it is a sport usually associated with cities and these and communities that live in cities and working class communities that live in cities.
Over the years, young men from many different backgrounds have been attracted to boxing.
If it weren't for boxing, I could have easily been locked up or got in some serious trouble.
A lot of people think to be a fighter you've got to be very angry and aggressive. Obviously there is an element of being aggressive, but the more calm you are in boxing, the better you're going to fight.
Hi, my name's Abdul. In this episode on Al-Arabia TV, I'm going to show you how boxing changed me from a bad guy into a good person.
تزامن التنوع العرقي والثقافي في بريطانيا مع ظهور اضطرابات على شكل أعمال شغب قادها الشباب، بما في ذلك الشباب من الأقليات العرقية. وجمع بين هذا الشباب الغاضب وحدة الشعور بالإحباط وخيبة الأمل تجاه غياب العدالة الاجتماعية والسياسية. ومن أشهر مشاهد الشغب هذه تلك التي شهدتها شوارع بريكستون في عام 1981، ليتلوها مشهد فوضوي آخر في عام 1985 وكذلك في عام 1995. ولم يقف الأمر عند ذلك، بل امتدت أطراف الفوضى إلى الشمال الإنجليزي لتطال شوارع برادفورد عام 2002. بما أن الدراسات الحديثة أثبتت نجاح مبادرات الملاكمة المجتمعية في منع الشباب اليافعين من إعادة ارتكاب الجرائم بنسبة تصل إلى 25%، فستخصص هذه الحلقة من روح الفريق لاستعراض بعض هذه المبادرات الناجحة وقدرتها على استخدام الرياضة كقوة فاعلة ومضادة لأعمال العنف والشغب في شوارع بريطانيا.
The riots in 2011, the periodic bouts of public disorder we've had, usually come down to a general disaffection and then a spark, and it was the same then, where the economy is on a downturn, bad relationship with the police and certain elements of the community. It was started by somebody, the person who was shot, the law courts have looked at and said it was a lawful killing. So you've got actually this position going through that it was just a spark that went out.
In 1980, we have the Brixton riot. The Brixton riot occurred because of black people, police stop and search. You know, black people at that time wasn't allowed basically to go anywhere out on the street. They wasn't allowed to sort of do anything. We never had nothing. As you know, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, you have black people, when they come over here, it was like, no blacks, no Irish, and stuff like that. So it carried on till about the 80s.
Yeah, this is my club, Pedro Boxing Club. And this is where the magic happens.
عبدول الكظمي هو مثال ناجح لقدرة هذه المبادرات المجتمعية على معالجة مشاكل العنف من خلال الملاكمة.
Yeah, this is the club. This is my second home, basically. You right, coach?
Yeah, you're right, yeah?
Yeah.
Ready for today's session?
Yeah, I'm always ready, coach.
Got some good bag drills for you today.
Yeah.
Make sure you're ready, yeah? So let's get changed up and that and we'll get started, yeah?
Let me put my wraps on. Where I grew up in Hackney wasn't the best place. It was quite rough. And the place where I live on is actually called Murder Mouth. And where I live is, there's a lot of council properties, you know, you've got a lot of other ethnic minorities, you know, different culture, because it's a very cultured area.
I started Pedro Gym from my background, you know, boxing has taught me so much, you know, like I said, it taught me respect, manners, attitude, and I thought, you know what, if I could start a gym where I could show these guys what boxing done for me, off the street, living around the corner, living in the same place as them. 2011, yeah, that's right. We have a next riot which was down Tottenham, you know, and the riot seems to be moving up. Black people sort of got a lot of anger issue because things was happening to them, and in Tottenham when this young man got shot, yes, it's also spread from Tottenham, come to Hackney, which is about 5-7 miles apart, but it also ended up in Hackney.
Slip. That's it.
I remember I got a text message from one of my friends saying, I can't believe you're in the papers, what's this? And then I just thought he was just messing about. Then I went to my Facebook, because I did know a lot of people, you know, growing up in Hackney and stuff. My Facebook messages just went over the roof. Literally, so many people were messaging me saying, I saw you in the papers, I saw you in the papers, because they literally put me in the Evening Standards, and that's the papers they give out at the train station. So literally, my face was like on the 4th or 5th page. I didn't know what to do. I was literally panicking.
Abdul, yeah, was a young man who got dragged in it, and you know, I don't know, there was something about the kid I like. I saw something in this young man, something kind of confident in the young man, you know, and I got him one side and I talked to him.
If it wasn't for him, I literally would have been still doing stupid stuff. He gave me a choice. He literally said, listen, you can either go down this path or you can go down this path. After the riots and after I took boxing seriously, I left everything because he gave me something to do.
The rioters came from behind the security of their burning barricades to lob petrol bombs, bricks and bottles at the police lines.
Police was giving black people a very, very hard time. So you had the riot. Everybody was sort of fed up of the way they was treated and fed up of the way police was dealing with black people.
Not everyone gets treated the same. Especially where we're from, it's a very multicultural area, and a lot of people always have this thing where they think that the police is against them because of their colour. If you saw a gang of 5 white boys and a gang of 5 black guys, automatically the 5 black guys will get stopped and questioned and whatever, for no reason, even if they're doing the exact same thing, just walking on the road, even next to each other. So it was more of a racial thing.
العلاقة الجدلية بين الشباب والشرطة في بريطانيا هي من أهم الدوافع وراء أعمال العنف والشغب هذه. فيا ترى ما هو سر هذه العلاقة المريرة التي غذت مظاهر الاستنكار والغضب الشبابي على مدى الأجيال؟
Joined the police in 1975. Went to Islington as my first posting as a policeman. In Tottenham, I came to Tottenham, Haringey Borough in 1997. In 1999, I started this club as a youth diversion project to get their kids off the streets. I mean, the word police in the title of the club, it may put people off, it may not. The ones it has put off, I'll never know because they've never walked through the doors. The people that have come into this gym and have boxed for this club over the years, their relationship with the police and myself as a police officer, it has improved because they understand, you know, we get to talk, I can explain to them why police officers have dealt with them in such a way while I've spoken to them like that. So their perception of the police has changed because they've met me outside of my uniform. They've seen the person behind the uniform and they think, well, if that's Jerry without a uniform on, the other police officers, what are they like when they go home? You know, other police officers, they go home, they play sports with their families, they run sports clubs, you know, they could participate in sports themselves. You know, we're human beings underneath the uniform, we're not police officers. You know, you're not born a police officer.
تظهر التقارير الرسمية مدى شعبية الملاكمة لدى الشباب من الأقليات العرقية بمشاركة تتجاوز 15% من المعدل العام للمشاركين باللعبة. والسؤال الذي يطرح نفسه هنا هو: ما سر جذب اللعبة للشباب الغاضب؟
Through the years, we've had Irish people come over here many years ago, And then we have the Polish people, West Indian people, and it's a graduation of all the different nationalities. When they come over to England, it's a sport that they can get into. It doesn't cost them a lot of money. Boxing for young people is a fantastic sport to get into. It keeps them fit and it shows them the rudiments of life.
Boxing has created confidence in me. It's literally, I've met so much good people from here. I've met people on the same sort of level from me, with me. I'm not stressed no more. I feel like I can let the stress here. I feel like I've got something to do now. I've got people that care about me because boxing is just not a club, it's a family.
All right, just go up on the bags for me, yeah?
Boxing is traditionally, it is a sport usually associated with cities and these and communities that live in cities and working class communities that live in cities. That is one of the reasons why boxing is very attractive to the urban city population.
This boxing club has been going 43 years. We've done a lot for a lot of young people, girls and boys, people with learning difficulties, people who've been in trouble. We try to keep them off the streets and out of trouble as much as we can with all the nights we train. Me and the other trainers do our best to keep them out of trouble and channel their channel their energies into the right direction. Boxing for the young people can really bring them out of the shell, keep them out of trouble and learn them a bit of self-respect for themselves. Everything we teach is not just about boxing, it's about being a nice person outside the ring.
Boxing is a very intense sport because it's so confined into a small ring. It also gives that intense experience to spectators, especially those who are there at ringside. Boxing, I think, has an appeal because it's somehow associated with authenticity, without hype, without glamour, even when it is glamorized and hyped. I suppose over the years, young men from many different backgrounds have been attracted to boxing. Partly, I think, it comes out of particularly close-knit communities where the boxing gym is at the heart of the community, almost next door to the mosque.
One Nation started with an initiative where me and my partner, Wajid Nazir, we thought there's a level of antisocial behaviour in the area, and I felt like, coming from a professional boxing background, there was a need in the community for a gym, for a sports facilities. So we come together, we had an idea, we had a vision, and I put my boxing background expertise and Wajid put his youth provision and community background. We joined forces and One Nation was kind of formed.
We have the bagging area, the glove area, and here is when the children come in or the users come in and they'll use the gloves if they don't bring their own to participate in the sessions that we run here.
We just felt, because what happens with a lot of the kids in Britain, when they come back from school at 3:30, 4 o'clock, they go to the mosque to learn Arabic for 2 hours. And most of the boxing clubs in the UK, their classes are between 4 and 6 o'clock. So we felt we were going to give an opportunity to the kids at the mosque to come to the gym. So we did our classes after the mosque. So our classes were like 7 o'clock when the mosque finished at 6. This enabled them to come to the classes, learn an art, learn a sport, and hopefully, you know, pursue their career and prolong it to as far as they want to go.
And here, we're in the bag area. So what would happen in here, when the children and the users come in, they will come, get gloved up, do their warm-up activities, come in here, do their bag work, however it may be, and then go on to the ring area. They'd climb in and then use the ring. Throw a few shots like that. First and foremost, I think boxing is a very good tool to build up their self-confidence. Maybe there's a child that's been bullied at school and they're using the boxing just as a self-defense mechanism. Maybe it's somebody who's lacking that little bit of confidence, and the encouragement to help them bond with other children and be a little bit over the top than they would be normally is very good. Builds up their self-confidence. And with boxing, you also get the discipline, like I said before.
One of the things I could honestly say, and you hear this a lot from boxers, if it weren't for boxing, I could have easily been locked up or got in some serious trouble. I think boxing straightened my life up, disciplined me, helped me to get on straight and narrow, and has benefited in my family life, in my businesses. Boxing has really helped me in a lot of aspects of my life.
One thing that's happened since One Nation has been established is the crime levels in the local area, the antisocial behaviour has gone down about 33%. So that's something that's a positive outcome in the local community. So by encouraging the children to stay off the streets and come in and do something constructive with their time and use their efforts to something good, because it's good for the community and it's good for their own body. That has played a good part in this area, and hopefully we plan to increase on that.
ولهذه الرياضة القدرة ليس فقط على إنقاذ الشباب من العنف وتغيير مجرى حياتهم، بل هي وسيلة علاج لإعادة تأهيل أولئك الذين تعرضوا لأشكال مختلفة من العنف الاجتماعي، مثل كاثي براون الملاكمة الإنجليزية من لندن.
I began my boxing career in 1998, although there wasn't many women in that time yet. I think it was only myself and one other lady had a professional licence, and I'd kickboxed for 6 years before then. I got into kickboxing because I was in an abusive relationship when I was younger, and I swore that was never going to happen to me again. So I started learning how to look after myself, and then I realised how amazing boxing had been for my self-confidence and my self-esteem and self-worth. So boxing changed my life because it made me more of an assertive person, it made me more confident, it gave me more self-worth to be able to go anywhere and speak to anybody. And it's not for the fact that boxing teaches you how to hit people, it's just a great release of anger and stress. And I had a lot of anger from being adopted, from being in an abusive relationship when I was younger. So all of a sudden I found this outlet to be able to get rid of all this anger by just punching pads and punching the bag. Cognitive behavioural therapy is, everyone as human beings develops behavioural habits, whether it be from situations they've been through in their life in the past or experience they've had. The relationship between cognitive behavioural therapy and boxing is, I think a lot of people think to be a fighter you've got to be very angry and aggressive. Obviously there is an element of being aggressive, but the more calm you are in boxing, the better you're going to fight. You'll have more clarity mentally, your reactions are better, and you'll fight much better. You'll see things coming towards you more clearer. So therefore I teach a lot of my clients, if they're boxing, to be able to learn to be calmer and to learn about maybe thought processes they've put onto why they fight. So you can still get that nice release of tension or stress through boxing, but also be aware that if you go in there totally angry, you're most likely going to get hurt. Many children's antisocial behaviour comes from anger and stress, which also comes from sadness and insecurities. Now it could be whether they've come from a dysfunctional childhood, whether they've seen abuse in their childhood, whether they haven't been taught that emotional intelligence of how to deal with stress. Because not a lot of people know how to deal with an angry child. They just think, oh, they've got ADHD, which is not so. It's actually, let's look within and let's see why this person is angry. Are they stressed? Are they sad because they don't feel they're good enough?
For your first contest, making his way to the ring, Jordan Flynn. His opponent making his way to the ring, Luke McCormack.
ولكن ما هو الدعم المتوفر لهذه المبادرات الفردية والمجتمعية؟
boxing is enjoying something of a resurgence in Britain, both at amateur and professional level, is helping give enough attention to make people aware of it. The eternal battle is to help the amateur structure that allows people in without ruining the fact you're actually making them take part and make it theirs. The real beneficial bit is it's not being spoon-fed, you've got to give. You organise it, but we're getting slightly better over the last a couple of decades of actually supporting that amateur structure. That is the really good thing about the British sporting tradition. It has its downsides as well, but that is the good thing about it. That is why it is not totally dependent on success internationally or publicly, the fact these sports continue by themselves.
خلال رحلة الهروب والتحرر من ثقافة العصابات وأعمال الشغب، نجح العديد من شباب الأقليات العرقية في تغيير حياتهم بفضل اللعبة، ليحققوا بذلك إنجازات مذهلة، كتمثيل فريق بريطانيا للملاكمة التابع للمعهد العالي للرياضة في شيفيلد. فما الذي يميز هذا المعهد عن غيره من المبادرات التي استعرضناها؟
In the English Institute of Sport, you have expert support staff that can support a boxer throughout his career and his journey. From making weight, which is a nutritionist's job, to lifestyles, which is outside of boxing, employment and education, to the physio who deals with all of their injuries, to the doctor, to the performance analyst that will show them their mistakes on videos and help them prepare for the opponents that they're going to box. Filming their training sessions and then going over them time and time again. They're supported very well on the programme, and if you have talent and you get to GB boxing, you have every opportunity to make the grade along with the best coaches arguably in the world here. My role as a performance director covers a few areas. The main area for me is the development of boxers. Obviously, you work with a sports agency that fund the programme, which is UK Sport, and you have the British Olympic Association that helps you coordinate and prepare your team for an Olympic Games. On a daily basis as a performance director, my job is to oversee the best boxers in the UK, Olympic boxing, and help prepare them, select them and get them the vital experience needed to go to tournaments and win medals and ultimately go to an Olympic Games and win an Olympic medal. There's a lot of staff here, there's a lot of support staff, there's a lot of boxing coaches and there's a lot of boxers.
Anyone new to boxing might think it's just about working hard and throwing punches and not getting hit with punches. My job as a performance analyst is to give the coach accurate and objective information to help them. So as part of our system on iBoxer, we can get up any information to kind of debrief his performances. He'll have access to this whenever he wants, and the main point of this is that you can go over it with a coach.
It's also a great tool in feedback from the sparring, fault correction, what they need to improve on. Before the bouts when we're abroad, it's to actually analyse and set up a game plan, if you like.
It's changed quite a bit. The boxers here on the programme are full-time athletes now. When I was boxing, we was part-time. They get fully supported, they get funding, they get a chance to achieve things in their lives, and they get given the support to do that. So it's changed quite a bit, and that's been shown in London, the results that we had and in Beijing before London.
وبالرغم من كل هذه التحديات، تمكنت هذه المبادرات المجتمعية من تغيير حياة الشباب نحو الأفضل، وهذه هي قوة الرياضة، القوة الناعمة التي تتحدى حدود اللون والعرق والنوع، لتساعد الشباب من الأقليات العرقية على التماس سبل جديدة لتوجيه غضبهم وعنفوانهم بعيدا عن الشوارع، ونقلها إلى داخل الحلبات لتحل المنافسة النزيهة وروح الفريق مكان هتافات الشغب والغضب، وتوجيه قبضاتهم الفولاذية ولكماتهم القاضية ضد خصمهم الحقيقي المتمثل بالتمييز العنصري والفقر والعنف.
Sport, whether you're white, black, pink or blue, you understand me, was known as a poor person sport.
Boxers have always come from poor backgrounds, really. Boxing is a risky sport, so there isn't much of an incentive for people who have a lot of education or other opportunities to take up something as dangerous as boxing.
I'm an Englishman. They come from Pakistan. I don't care where any lad comes from. They're all human beings. And I treat them all like human beings. I love to be with all the kids. That's been my life.